I don't care if you think you're above the rules. These 6 parking spaces are HOA property, and you will comply, Judge.
Cold air hit my face as I stepped out for work and almost slid on fresh tar. The street glowed with flashing cones. The smell of hot asphalt punched me. My driveway was gone under a slick black rectangle. 6 bright white boxes stretched across it like teeth. A tow sign leaned on my mailbox. Do not park, HOA property. I stood there at 6:12 a.m. with coffee steaming in one hand and my keys in the other, staring at men in vests rolling paint that read Visitor 1 through Visitor 6. One waved, like I should thank him. A truck beeped reverse into my roses. My phone buzzed with a text from a neighbor. Sorry, board said. New parking starts today, don't fight it. My house felt smaller than the cones around it. Here's the fight in one line. HOA paved 6 spaces onto my driveway. Had no idea I am their judge. That's the thesis. They took my driveway and turned it into a mini lot without asking. The board president, Karen with a perfect bun and a clipboard the size of a lunch tray, strutted over at 7:05 a.m. She said, move your car to the street by 9:00 p.m., or it'll be towed on your dime. I said, this is my deeded driveway. She smiled like I was a child who spilled juice. She tapped a copy of a blurry plat map and said, common area. She sprayed orange paint over my curb number like it was hers. The cones flickered in the early sun. The asphalt hissed. My coffee went cold in my hand. I tried to reason. I called the property manager at 8:11 a.m. He told me to email. I emailed. No reply. I went to the office at lunch. The door was locked, though the sign said open. I spoke at the next board meeting on May 3rd, 2024. Karen cut my mic at 2 minutes. She waved at the tow company rep like a friend at brunch. Neighbors stared at their shoes. One mouthed sorry, then slid a violation letter deeper into her purse. At 10:32 p.m., a patrol car idled outside, while a board volunteer took photos of my bumper like it was a crime scene. The next morning, a notice appeared. Fine of $200 for unauthorized vehicle in visitor space. My car, my driveway, my blood shook like a loose window. That was my line in the sand. I promised myself I would use only proper channels. No yelling. No drama in the night. Smart and lawful. I lined up photos, emails, and call logs in a binder. I measured the curb with chalk and a tape. I hired a surveyor for $275 to find the iron stakes. He hit steel 6 inches inside the white box labeled Visitor 3. I filed a public records request with the city for permits. 2 days later, the file landed with 63 pages. Not one permit for new paving. Not one plan sheet. I wrote out a labeled timeline on a single page so anyone could follow. Timeline item 1, April 5 at 4:27 a.m., false trespass call. Timeline item 2, April 20th at 9:00 p.m., cones placed without notice. Timeline item 3, May 3 at 7:18 a.m., asphalt poured across recorded driveway. I printed the plat from the county site. I highlighted the lot line. Plain law line right there. Property lines are set by recorded plats, not by paint. And another one for the board if they kept calling the police. Patterns of false reports can be prosecuted. Then came the trap. I sent one letter by certified mail to the manager. It said, I will not pay fines for parking on my own property. I asked for their permit, their plan, and their vote minutes. I copied the city. I copied the county. I asked the zoning office to review the new striping across a private driveway. They scheduled a compliance hearing. Tuesday, 9:00 a.m., City Hall, Room B. I wore a simple blue shirt. I brought my binder and the survey flags in a zip bag. Neighbors drifted in, phones ready. Karen arrived in a blazer that could cut glass. She brought 3 printed photos of my car and a stack of violation forms. She did not bring a permit. The clerk called the docket. My stomach flipped when she said my name and then added a line I did not expect. Assigned hearing officer for the rotation this week. I had no idea I'm their judge until that exact moment. I didn't smile. I didn't gloat. I stood and said on the record that I have a conflict. I own the property involved. I recused myself. The clerk nodded and slid the file to the alternate. The alternate, a calm retiree with a careful voice, took the chair. The city attorney leaned in and asked the board for their permit. Silence. The room waited. I handed the binder to the clerk as a witness, not a judge. Receipts montage in 1 turn of plastic sleeves, stamped survey, the orange chalk marks, emails where the manager wrote, let's pave first and fix the paperwork later, and the call log of 11 complaints. The alternate had the city's 63-page file with 0 permits. He read a plain law line aloud. No work in the right-of-way or on private property without permit, and no HOA authority over recorded driveways. Neighbors filmed. Someone whispered she paved his driveway. No way. Karen tried a speech. She blamed me for confusing lines. She said common sense says more parking helps everyone. The alternate pointed at the plat. He said common sense follows the law. The flip hit fast. The inspector testified that the asphalt spilled into the storm gutter and would be milled and removed. The police sergeant added a note. 3 false reports tied to the HOA number, all against me, including that 4:27 a.m. call. Patterns of false reports can be prosecuted, he said. flat and clear. Laughter bubbled from the back when the tow rep learned on camera that the spaces were not HOA property at all. Karen's face went the color of the cones. The alternate read the order. Immediate cease and desist. Civil fine of $3,500 to the HOA. Personal censure of the president for acting without a vote per the bylaws. City to restore my driveway and bill the association. The room hummed. Phones went up like a forest. By dinner, my neighbor's video had 22,000 views. Comments rolled in. Local news called me at 8:13 p.m. I said the line I had practiced. I wanted peace and a driveway I can park on. Aftermath came with the sound of grinding. A crew showed up with a permit taped to the truck window. They milled the 6 boxes off my concrete and power washed the curb. The tow sign vanished. The board posted minutes saying the president resigned. The manager got replaced within 2 weeks. We had a neighborhood cookout the next weekend, nothing fancy. Hot dogs, a soccer ball, kids drawing chalkfish on my clean driveway. I put out 6 folding chairs. Visitor 1 through visitor 6, my neighbor joked, and we laughed until our sides hurt. The new board put up a simple rule. No paving without permits. No lines over anyone's lot, ever. We planted 3 knockout roses where the cones had been. At 9:00 p.m., I parked my car, eased the brake, and breathed. Peace returned with the smell of fresh water and charcoal, not tar. One last thing from me to you, because this story is not rare and people need to hear it. Please follow for more HOA showdowns like this. Do you think she got what she deserves? Comment below.